Every year, millions of dollars in gold get sold for almost nothing at estate sales. Broken chains, tangled necklaces, single earrings, pieces people assume are worthless. But 10 grams of damaged 14-karat gold still holds over $350 in melt value. Right now, people are quietly making money buying broken jewelry, profiting from scrap gold others throw away. It all comes down to something most sellers overlook: a forgotten drawer, a tangled pile of gold chains, a few orphaned earrings, maybe a ring with a cracked band. For most people, these are just clutter, leftovers from a move, or the last sweep of an estate clear-out. But here is where it gets interesting. The value is not in how these pieces look. It is in the gold itself. The scratches, dents, and broken clasps do not erase the metal's worth. The market pays for weight and purity, not for beauty. Heirs clearing out a relative's house often move fast. Boxes of old jewelry get traded in as a batch, untouched, just to be done with it. Pawn shops and thrift stores buy these lots in bulk, rarely checking each stamp or carat. Sellers rush the process, sometimes not even glancing at the tiny numbers pressed into the metal: 10 karat, 14 karat, 18 karat. Most do not know what those numbers mean, or how a single earring marked 14 karat can still hold real cash value. A hobbyist once recalled the moment it clicked. He was sifting through a pile of tangled chains in a relative's nightstand when he spotted a faint 585 stamped on the clasp. That number, 58.5% pure gold, turned what looked like junk into several $100s of melt value. Most people miss this. They see damage and think worthless. But the metal's value lives on, hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone who knows how to look. The real hunt for undervalued gold starts in places most people scroll past or walk right by. Facebook Marketplace is a gold mine, literally, if you know what to search for. The magic words are scrap lot, broken jewelry, and costume. Sellers use these tags to dodge platform rules about precious metals. But every week, new listings pop up with boxes of tangled chains or single earrings priced as if they are worthless. After the holidays, the number of scrap lot listings jumps sharply as people clear out drawers or rush to cover bills. Timing is everything. The fastest buyers set keyword alerts and message sellers within seconds, offering cash and same-day pickup before the competition even sees the post. eBay is another hotspot, but the game changes. Here, broken jewelry lot or as-is auctions draw in dozens of bidders, each calculating the melt value in real time. Veteran flippers use sniping tools to place their bids in the last 3 seconds, aiming for lots where the per-gram price dips below what local pawn shops pay. A $45 box of mixed metal might hide $200 worth of gold if you know how to spot the right stamps in the blurry listing photos. Don't overlook the physical world. Garage and estate sales, especially right after tax season or a big move, often feature bins of junk jewelry for $1 to $5 a piece. Thrift stores clear out bins of broken or mismatched items for $10 or less. No haggling, just a bulk discount if you ask the manager. Pawn shops and flea markets round out the list with occasional scrap gold bins priced to move fast. The real edge is knowing which venues move inventory quickly and which sellers are just happy to see the clutter gone. Master these channels and you're already ahead of 99% of the crowd. Gold purity isn't just a number stamped on a clasp, it is the key to unlocking real value from broken jewelry. Every buyer who makes money in this market memorizes a handful of figures. 10 karat means 41.7% gold. 14 karat is 58.5%, and 18 karat jumps to 75%. European pieces may skip the letter K and show a 3-digit mark. 417, 585, or 750, each one indicating the gold content per 1,000 parts. Most people overlook these tiny numbers, but they are the difference between junk and a payout. But here is where it gets interesting. The market does not care about style or sentiment, it cares about math. To get the melt value, you multiply the weight in grams by the purity, then by the spot price per gram. If gold is trading at $2,240 an ounce, that is about $72 per gram. So a 14-karat chain weighing 10 grams holds 5.85 grams of pure gold, worth roughly $420 at today's spot. This is where the money is made, spotting the purity, doing the math, and knowing instantly whether a deal is real. The formula is simple, but most sellers never run it. Buyers who can convert carat to cash on the fly have the edge. And once you see the numbers, the next step is testing, because not every stamp tells the whole story. A digital scale blinks to life, precision down to 1/100th of a gram. 10 grams of tangled, battered gold jewelry sit in a shallow tray. Most people see a handful of scrap, but this is where the real test begins. A quick glance for hallmarks, searching for the tiny 14-carat mark or the number 585 stamped on a clasp or inside a ring. That stamp means 58.5% gold, verified in seconds if you know what to look for. But stamps can lie, so out comes a strong magnet. Real gold will not budge, but a magnetic pull means you are dealing with steel or plated junk. Still not sure? An acid test kit makes it official. A scratch on the touchstone, a drop of 14-carat solution, and a steady hand. If the mark holds, it is the real thing. Safety first, gloves, goggles, and a window cracked open for ventilation. Now, for the moment of truth. 10 grams at 14-carat purity equals 5.85 grams of pure gold. With gold trading at $60 per gram, that is $351 in melt value. What looked like a $50 pile of junk is suddenly worth 7 times more, just by running the numbers and verifying the metal. Most people miss this. Once you see the numbers add up in real time, it is hard to forget how much value hides in plain sight. But here's where the numbers take a turn and where most beginners get tripped up. That melt value you calculated, you won't see the full amount in your hand. Jewelers, pawn shops, and refineries all work off a payout formula that quietly shaves off a slice for themselves. The industry norm is a payout between 80 and 95% of the melt value. So if your tested lot comes out to $351 in pure gold, a typical buyer will offer around 85%, or about $298. That missing $53? It covers more than just profit. It's for testing, refining, and the risk of hidden impurities. A refinery representative explains it plainly. We deduct for assay, refining loss, and handling. For small lots, the total cut is usually 10 to 15%, depending on the mix and the day's rates. Some shops hold your gold for a day or two while they confirm purity. Others pay on the spot, but at a steeper discount to cover their risk. The logic is simple. Every step from acid test to final pour introduces cost and uncertainty. Most sellers never see the math, but it is there, etched into every payout slip. This deduction is the invisible toll that stands between the raw melt value and the cash you actually pocket. Only after these cuts do you get to count your real profit, and this is where knowing the numbers down to the last percent becomes your edge in the scrap gold game. An estate sale regular remembers the sting of a bad buy. The box looked promising: 2 tangled chains, a handful of rings, a heavy brooch. $40 in cash, no returns. Back home, the real test began. The magnet clung to half the pile. Acid fizzled on a ring that looked solid. In the end, out of 100 grams, only 2 small pieces were real gold, barely enough to cover the original cost. The rest was plated brass and wishful thinking. The hunter says that you learn fast when you lose money. Most lots are not jackpots. Margins swing wildly, sometimes 20% up, sometimes you are lucky to break even. The real secret is knowing when to walk away. Every dollar spent on fakes is profit gone. That is how the math keeps you honest. But here is where most beginners get burned. Not every piece in a scrap lot is real gold, and the risks go far beyond just overpaying. In a typical batch, as much as 30 to 70% of the items by count can be gold-plated or outright fakes, easy to miss if you are rushing. Sellers sometimes offload stolen goods, and buying without proper documentation can land you in legal trouble. Always photograph your purchases, keep receipts, and record seller details. Acid test kits are cheap, but the chemicals can cause burns or worse if mishandled, so gloves and goggles are not optional. Do not forget taxes. In the United States, any gold sale over $10,000 triggers mandatory reporting, and profits count as taxable income. The real pros treat every step as a paper trail, protecting themselves from fines, fraud, and police holds. In this game, cutting corners is not just risky, it can erase every dollar you hope to make. A pocket-sized digital scale, accurate to 0.01 grams, is the first tool every serious buyer picks up. Next, a strong magnet separates real gold from plated imposters in seconds. Add a jeweler's loop for reading tiny hallmarks and an acid test kit or portable electronic tester to confirm karat. All in, the basic setup runs about $40 if you shop smart. But here's where it gets interesting. You don't need to risk hundreds to see how this works. Set aside $25 for your first test lot, just enough to buy a handful of broken pieces from a thrift store or a small Facebook batch. Weigh and test every item, photograph your results, and keep written records of each transaction. Treat this as a science experiment, not a gamble. Every gram and every note builds your edge for the next buy. Gold doesn't care if a chain is broken. Right now, as spot prices fluctuate and thrift finds multiply, the real edge belongs to those who spot value where others see scrap. Most people overlook it, and that's exactly where opportunity hides. Sometimes the real profit is in what most never notice.